All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Tony Talks. This is the return to Christmas special, holiday special, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See, it's good to see everybody because I could see you guys too. You could see me. It's a good time here. And I just hope that everybody is heeding the warning seriously. You're not spending any time with your families this holiday season because it could be dangerous to do that, especially if they're not boosted or anything. I really want to get my booster shot. I mean, I haven't gotten the vaccine yet, but I want to go straight to the booster. And it's very interesting. I was just talking to family back in New York. I'm not from New York. I'm from Kansas, but I do have some family in New York. Between the time I lived in Kansas and Texas, I spent a little bit of time in New York as well. So, they're, I have my stepmom's from Poland. She's telling me I want to go to Spain because she has a son out in Spain, and she's just concerned if her vaccine card is going to be up to date enough because she hasn't gotten the booster. And I said, that's the price you pay for not getting the booster in a timely fashion. The booster is very important. It's not to be taken lightly. It's to be taken very seriously. And I hope that she learns her lesson. If she's not able to travel to Spain, she's not able to see her son and her loved ones, that she gets the booster next time. She takes things more seriously because that seems to be the issue. People not taking these things seriously. Well, you need to get your vaccine. The Johnson Johnson one they recommended against now because of rare blood clotting. I'm sure it's very rare enough to take the product off the market when you've been selling it to people for the past, I don't know, 10 months or so, but we don't have to worry about that. I think it was passed in February, the Johnson Johnson, and is now December. So 10 months of jabbing people with something that you now recommend they do not take because of rare blood clotting, which is good. I think that's good. I think it's okay to be a little bit on edge with things and kind of leave things to chance sometimes. But as long as you don't get Omicron, Megacron, Chromicron, Comic Con, as long as you don't go to Comic Con in New York, you're okay. So, the vaccine protects against that, which we don't know if it does. Then, what do you have to worry about besides some blood clotting? I mean, that never hurt anybody. But yeah, so hope everybody's having a good holiday. I want to make sure that we were able to check in here. Um, there's a lot of things going on right now. Joe Biden is still the president, even though I don't know, he had a birthday recently in November. Happy birthday. I think he turned 107 years old. And he looks great from 107. I can't complain about how our president looks, how he feels, how he sounds for a 107-year-old man. From 107, the guy's as sharp as a tack. He's on it. He's on it. And any rumors about him not running in 2024, I think are, by the time that comes, I think he'll be 109. So maybe 109 is a little bit old. But, for 107, the guy's doing great. I don't know if he's actually 107, but if I'm saying if he was 107, which is what I heard, then he looks phenomenal. He sounds phenomenal. People say he looks like he's had cognitive decline for somebody his age. I don't think that's the case at all. For somebody that's been around for over a century, Joe Biden looks fantastic. Let me see this. Oh, 1942. Oh, so November 1942. So that'll make him, oh, he's 79. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit different than if he was 107 and how he looked and felt, but he's 79. Yeah, I guess he looks about his age then. And maybe that's not a good thing. Yeah. Well, he is the president, and I guess we have to support him. That's what we do as citizens. We support our leaders, regardless if we think they're cognitively capable of fulfilling their positions or not. Um, I think we're in good hands. Anyway, hope everybody's having a good holiday season. Good holiday by yourselves because there's a pandemic going on, and it is a cause of concern if you're gathering with family and everything. Hopefully, at least you had the common sense to get a negative coronavirus test before seeing anybody if you are taking that chance. Personally, I think if you do go visit family, and hopefully you're going to a residence that has a big house, so you could create some type of system where I'm in one room, you're in the next room, you're in the next room. We exchange presents through the doors. We kind of, we everybody goes and gets their food individually. People are in the kitchen individually, and we're able to control the amount of social distance we have, and we're able to close off the doors at least so that we could be with each other or close enough to it this holiday season. And I think that would be the way to celebrate this year if you're all going to celebrate Christmas. Maybe you're not going to celebrate Christmas. Maybe you can celebrate Chanukah, or Hanukkah. If you're Jewish, what they do, the 8 days or whatever it is. I think that was like a month ago though, so whatever. I'm just being ignorant. But that's okay though. That's what we do in this country. We remain ignorant and we listen to what the leaders tell us, and we're happy and we're all the better for it. So, God bless Joe Biden. But at least Trump's going to come back. Trump, the rumors are picking up. Trump, DeSantis, 2024. What could go wrong with that? Trump was president for 4 years. Nothing really bad happened while he was in office. He seems to be doing a good job. The country seemed to be united more than ever when Trump was in office. He seems to be the type of guy that could bring this country back together again. In a way, you could say he could make America great again. Again. MAGA. MAGA for Trump in 2024. And hopefully he goes with DeSantis. And I think that they'll be pretty strict with the coronavirus. DeSantis seems like a governor that's, he's the governor of Florida, and they seem to have been pretty strict about mask mandates and making sure everybody has their booster shots and their COVID vaccines. And I'm really curious at this point because I haven't been vaccinated yet. I mean, I did have coronavirus just in September, 3 months ago or so now. And does that count as a vaccine? And can I go straight to a booster now? Because it seems like we have just forgotten about the vaccine and we're just talking about boosters. So I want to go straight. And I wonder, is the booster, we just kind of throwing these words around, vaccine, booster. Pfizer's a 2-shot vaccine. Is the first shot the same as the second shot? And is the booster the same as those 2 shots? Or does it matter? Like, what are these booster shots? Nobody's explained this stuff. They've just said, go get your booster. I'll make an appointment. I'll get my booster. Does that mean I'm back up to date with everything? And the White House statement that they made about being vaccinated versus unvaccinated, it was a very uplifting message and one that we needed to hear during this holiday season. So, he said something along the lines of, this is fucking pure censorship because I'm trying to Google the exact quote right now or the exact line. And it's not, I Googled Biden's statement, vaccinated versus unvaccinated holiday season. And I went through the whole first page and I couldn't find anything on Google. And now I finally found something from Reuters. And they still aren't showing the exact quote there. This is instant. Well, that's what we do. We don't question our leaders. We just have we have Google and all the major media outlets continue to ignore these things. Well, it is what it is. God bless Joe Biden. I think the quote was something along with the statement that was released from the White House. So this is from Joe Biden. For the vaccinated, we thank you. We're not going to let you down. Some shit like that. You've done the right thing during this holiday season. Have fun with your loved ones. And then they follow up with another statement right after that that says, for the unvaccinated, you're looking towards a holiday season and a winter of illness, severe severe illness, hospitalization, and death, or something like that, which is nice to hear. And it's that kind of rhetoric that he kind of ran on when Trump was president. And Trump brought us together more than ever, and Biden said he was going to bring us together even more than that. And separating people between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, I think he's doing quite the job with, especially releasing statements right like that. So, God, it's a nice thing to hear that if you are not vaccinated for whatever reason, personal, spiritual, emotional, sexual, then you're looking forward to a winter of severe illness, hospitalizations, and death. And death. And death. But the Omicron variant, the Omicron Comic Con, New York, San Diego Comic Con, is a serious disease that I think the symptoms in this variant are worse off than in any previous variant. And I'm going to bring up something right now. A study that was done from the United Kingdom, UK. UK, I think that means United Kingdom. I'm not sure though, but let's just say it does. This is as of December 23rd. That people infected with the Omicron, Megacron, Comic Con, San Diego, New York variant of the coronavirus, COVID-19, not to be confused with the 18 or 20 COVID. This is the 19th COVID. They are 50 to 70% less likely to be hospitalized than those contracted with the older variants. So it does spread. It does seem to be spreading to people, but it has a much less threat to make you hospitalized or severely ill or death, to quote Joe Biden, the 46th president of the United States. So, I think that you got to take everything with a grain of salt, a grain of salt, a grain of sand, and you got to make the right decisions for yourself. Especially if you've had a previous variant. I personally like to think that I had the Delta variant because I'm in pretty good shape, but I was still pretty sick for a little bit. And I have the natural antibodies. I have the antibodies now, so I'm hopeful that that will keep me safe from the 19th iteration of COVID as we have reached the Omicron Comic Con New York San Diego variant of this disease. And a lot of people that were saying Trump was not vaccinated. I know some QAnon people. I have some close people of mine that were greatly influenced, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look on it, by the QAnon group. And they were saying Trump wasn't vaccinated. They're just saying that he was. But now we have video of him being on stage in Dallas telling everybody the vaccines are good. There's a lot of vaccines out there. I came up with these vaccines. We have the Moderna. We have the Pfizer. We should take credit for it. Conservatives need to take credit for it. They're very good. They're very good vaccines. And I remember when they came out during his administration, and the Democrats and the media were saying, don't take the vaccine. They came from Trump's administration. But since Trump's been out of office, Biden has been saying, pretty much mentioning the fucking vaccine in every speech and everything that he says. It's all about the vaccine. And now we see what's happening in major sports leagues, the NBA, the NFL, MLB, 2K11, 2K7, Highlight, the major Highlight League, the JFL. Um, the reason why this shit's spreading in these leagues, all these people are vaccinated. Everybody hated Aaron Rodgers because he got it, but he got it from a vaccinated person. But they're all not showing great symptoms because these are all like super athletes. So, or is it because they're vaccinated? What does it matter? It's their choice of being vaccinated or not. I've never been so pro something as I am pro vaccine, even though I'm not vaccinated yet. I do plan on getting the booster. Yeah. So, hopefully Trump, maybe I think it'd be the compromise that we should have. We should have a Democrat run with a Republican in 2024. And that'll probably be what really brings this country together. I think if you have a ticket where you put Donald Trump or Joe Biden, who looks good for 107, not so good for 79, and Donald Trump, who doesn't look a day over 75. I think that's about what he is. If you put those two together, you have quite the team. You have the best of the Democrats, you have the best of the Republicans. These guys argued with each other last election cycle, and now it's time for them to bring the country together again. This would be a real MAGA campaign, making America great again. Again. I think this is why I should be more involved in politics, because I have great ideas like this that nobody thinks of, but I'm sure like you just heard it and you're thinking, wow, we could make America great again, if we're able to unite people by putting the two different political parties. And is that against the rule? I don't think so. Well, I don't know either. Maybe it is. But why not have Trump, Biden, 2024? And then when they both destroy the country together, we can't blame anyone but ourselves. And that's what I'm going to do. Well, that's not what I'm going to do. Um, I think the country's in great shape. Trump, Biden, 2024. Let's just pour some fucking gasoline, kerosene all over this shit. Yeah, could you imagine that? Trump and Biden as the fucking, they just, that would be interesting shit. But at least Ghislaine Maxwell is, the trial's coming to a close. And they asked the jury to deliberate. The jury was like, no. Can we go fucking put the star on top of the tree and give my kids a present instead of sitting here with this watered down sex trafficking trial? That they greatly censored the names of all these people that flew on his whatever express, and we're never gonna find out. There's just such a fucking watered down, whitewashed, in a way, trial, because there's more authentic truth to it than what we've been told. And the fact that we see a lot of the names that were associated with him so closely, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Bill Gates, and nothing. How is there no? Can we like investigate these guys and see could they take the stand? What was yours? What were you doing on the plane? And what other names were not released that were on the plane because that shit was censored? Or that shit was, I don't know what the fuck they did with it, but they didn't release the full. They blacked out a bunch of the names that were associated with Jeffrey Epstein's plane and people that flew on it. Can we get some more eyewitnesses about what those guys were doing besides just the pilot saying, I didn't see them do anything? Because you're sitting in the cockpit. This dude sitting in the cockpit, flying back and forth. They're just doing their job. But how do we not look into any further about who Jeffrey Epstein was influencing, manipulating? Ghislaine Maxwell, who she was his number two guy, but can we? And I love that the big defense for Ghislaine Maxwell is that the victims have false memories from the last 24 years because of how the media has portrayed Jeffrey Epstein. How that can hold water, I have no idea, because these are all stories that were brought up from multiple people about the things this guy and Ghislaine Maxwell's role in it were. How could they just fabricate the whole, like it just made it up out of, because the media said this guy was, so if this guy was a child sex trafficker and all this shit and the media reported it, now they're saying, oh, it's not true because they were influenced by the media. Well, the media is reporting something, as bullshit as they are, and that wasn't even fuck. It was really more independent media that pushed this whole shit over with Jeffrey Epstein, and that's ultimately why he had to kill himself. And I believe that he killed himself. I don't think that. Why would anybody manipulate what happened to Jeffrey Epstein? It sounded like he had influential people there, like Donald Trump or Bill Clinton or Bill Gates. I don't know. Yeah, he did, but we never found out the truth about that. But your conspiracy hats on. Maybe next episode we'll go into further detail on some conspiracies, or not, whatever you decide. But I am going to mandate that anybody who listens to the podcast from now on is at least vaccinated, if not boosted, um, and when you wear a mask, because I'm speaking into the camera right now, and it could be risky if you're not wearing a mask when you're hearing it, because social distancing and the droplets can travel, and we don't know. The science is always changing until Dr. Fauci says something. If he says this is okay, then this is okay. But if it's not, I'm going to try to get in touch with him and see if I can get him on the show one day. And I'll have a mask on. He'll have a mask on, and we'll see what the guidance should be on that when listening to other people talk, whether through a screen, through a wall, through a door, through whatever. So at least hopefully you're all 6 feet away from the camera as you're watching this, or from the screen in your case. So that's going to do it for this episode, this holiday edition. I hope it's been an uplifting episode for everybody. And I thank you for your time. And I'll be back again, just like we'll make America great again.